Well, now you all know that you're welcome to the first social of the year. I'm glad that everybody came. And I knew I was gonna need help to fill up this church, especially on a Friday night. Because that's a hard night to do anything. And when I need help, I always meditate. And you know what I do? I ask God to help me. I called on God. I said, God, you are the chairman of the board, and I'm merely a rousing young executive. I said, God, I need a little help down here in the sales department. And God answered me. He said, Reverend Elmo. He always calls me by my first name. He said, Reverend Elmo, I'm sending you somebody. He said, I'm sending you somebody. Not just anybody, but somebody gonna help you get the word across to the brothers and sisters. You know, I met this brother back in 1959. That was the year I got my car. I never will forget it. Of course, I didn't meet the brother in the same place I met the Lord. No. I met the brother in the pool room. And I met the Lord in jail. I was in there for stealing a car. But seriously, without further ado, a man come all the way from the church of what's happening now. A man in his own right, a dear friend, Reverend Leroy.
I want to say thank you, brothers and sisters. I don't want to take much of your time, it's just a word or two. I wanted to give a little sermon that is a favorite with my congregation. And it's dedicated to those who aren't working. I won't go to the extent of naming names because I feel that the people who aren't working know who they are. Now, in order for me to make my point, I must tell you the story about King Nebuchadnezzar and the Hebrew boys. That is to help me make my point. You know what I mean? I must make my point, otherwise there's no use. Preaching is a lot like shooting craps. If you don't make your point, it don't mean a thing. Now, King Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylonia. They called him king of the good times, because in Babylonia every night was a party night. They had casinos there that never closed. There were scarlet women of all colors, showing everything they had to whoever wanted to see it. And there were a lot of big eyes in Babylonia. In Babylonia, every night was Saturday night. And the kids wouldn't go to bed when their parents told them. It was a wicked town. Wicked town. Now, a few miles down the road in Jerusalem lived the Hebrews. They worked for God. They was good. And Nebuchadnezzar was bad. And bad don't like good. Bad don't like good, does it? Y'all know that. Bad cannot stand good. So he said to himself, he said, self, I believe that I will drop in on the Hebrews and give them some trouble. That's the way trouble is. It drops in on you. You don't expect just out of the sky some trouble just drop. You say, well, why is this happening to me? That's your problem. They were right outside of town, and the voice in the middle of the night said, halt, who goes there? That is what the voice said. It was a little Hebrew boy named Daniel. The king asked, said, what is your name? The Hebrew boy said, sir, my name is Daniel. So he told him, my name is Daniel. Daniel was a good boy, and his mother had told him, whenever you're speaking to your elders, say, sir. That's why he said, sir, my name is Daniel. The king didn't like good boys. So he said, tie him up, and when we get back, I'm going to throw him to the lions. Then the king and his army marched into town and went wild. They shot up the place. They broke out all the windows. They tore out all the street lights. They walked all over people's gardens, and they scared the children. Can I get a shame, shame, shame?
Shame, shame, shame.
When he got back home, the first thing Nebuchadnezzar did was count his loot. He had captured 4 Hebrew boys, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and a big Negro. He also captured 15 slave girls and a solid gold dinner service for 12 that is stolen from a Hebrew temple. There was a bunch of other stuff that he took too, but I don't have time to name it all right now. But a complete list of the items taken will be for sale after the service. I recommend y'all pick one up. By this time, it started to get cold in the throne room. So Nebuchadnezzar said to the guards, he said, "Fetch Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego." And when the guards had brought them forth, he said unto the guards, "Throw these chumps into the fire." The king didn't know that the Lord was watching. The Lord was looking through the wall. He can look through the wall. A lot of people don't know that. Lord can look through a wall better than Clark Kent. Got X-ray vision. And the King Nebuchadnezzar didn't know that the Lord had come to the Hebrew boys earlier, and he told me, he said, when they get ready to throw you in the fire, do not struggle, because I got you covered. That's what he told them. I got you covered. Isn't that beautiful to be covered?
Truly wonderful. Truly.
Am I telling the truth, Reverend Elmo?
As far as I know.